Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Ned Reynolds, Mike the intern. It's Thursday. Man, I think every 5 to 10 minutes yesterday, my phone went off with another notification that someone else was getting traded in the NBA. Literally all day. I thought my wife was texting me at first. I was like, no. Then I thought it was work-related. No. Every single time I had a notification. Monster trade, NBA star going here, and they're getting this. There was a lot of it.
Well, the trading deadline is today, and that's why it's happened. So teams who feel like they're in contention for the championship are making all these what they think are key deals. And there were some. The one that really surprised me was Anthony Davis. Here's a guy who's a 10-time All-Pro, and he's been injured. He's always injured. Kentucky All-America for 1 year, but he's injured in the pros. Well, when Dallas gained him from the Los Angeles Lakers last year after he'd come over from the New Orleans Pelicans, I thought, well, this is it. This is where he's going to end up, because Luka Doncic, who is a great star in the NBA, went to the Lakers, going to make them unbeatable. Well, that hasn't happened. Anthony Davis is traded again. This is a well-traveled veteran. This time he's going to the Washington Wizards. Now, why would Dallas trade him? That's because the kid from Duke, the number one draft choice, who is really nothing more than spectacular, has come on and he has beaten his man. In other words, Davis can't stand up with this kid from Duke, who is just a terrific player. Cooper Flagg, he has come in, number one draft choice, and he has just beaten out Anthony Davis. So Davis goes to the Wizards now, but not just one. There are several others. Chris Paul, who's gained a lot of fame on TV commercials. He's going from the Clippers to the Toronto Raptors. And then just very early in the morning hours, Kristaps Porzingis is traded from the Atlanta. He's another one who's always injured. Atlanta Hawks to the Golden State Warriors. So all these trades coming up as the trade deadline approaches, and hey, that's the way things are, and not just in basketball, but in all the sports.
Yeah, it's business, man, and that's just the way it is. It's crazy to think that, you know, when you were a kid, the idea of free agency, I mean, it was a thing, but it wasn't a part of the business in which you use it to your advantage. Like the idea that NFL coaches move on from these guys every, 2 to 5 years is we're used to it now, but back in the day, none of this happened like
When
this.
I was a kid growing up, free agency, yes, you could be one, but it was so difficult, and it wasn't really lucrative all that much. It really meant that your team didn't want you anymore. Yeah. It's because you didn't have the ability to be able to go to other teams and market yourselves. That didn't come till Curt Flood in 1972, a very big deal. But it is now, and it is very much a part of the game.
I think it's interesting because some people say, like, Landry getting let go was kind of the pinnacle of that, because then all the other teams, I'm referencing football here, of course, all the other teams were like, wait a minute. You're going to fire that guy? Well, I guess, what about the guy that we got? So that kind of messed up everything. All right, kind of a sad note do we got to speak on this morning?
Yeah, it bothers me more than anybody else, I imagine, because I'm older and I remember him so very well. And longtime baseball fans would remember Mickey Lolich, who was a star with the Detroit Tigers back in their championship era of the late 1960s. He left us yesterday at the age of 85, and he was one of the classiest pitchers in history. 2,679 strikeouts. That's the second most by a lefty in American League history. And the one that I think puts him in the headlines was the World Series, the Detroit Tigers and the St. Louis Cardinals in 1968. Mickey Lolich pitched 3 complete games, including the final game, Game 7, on 2 days rest. He wasn't overpowering. He was just very crafty with what he did. Overshadowed that year because Denny McLain won 31, the last 30-game winner in big league baseball, and it hasn't happened since. But Lolich was very much a part of that team. Left us yesterday, sad note, 85 years old.
What a great player, though, man. For real. NASCAR got to finally open their season last night. Who got the checkered flag?
This is the unofficial opening. It's called the Cookout Clash. It used to be the Busch Clash. And you might remember, Mike, that this is the one where they took out to the Coliseum in Los Angeles and laid out the track around there. Well, as of last year, they've moved it to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, which is really the hub of all the NASCAR work and so forth. And they run this clash at Bowman Gray Stadium, which is a football field on the campus of Winston-Salem State. So they did that. Well, it was originally scheduled for Sunday, and then moved back to Monday, and then moved back to Wednesday. What is this, snow? Come on. Anyway, they did run the race last night under the lights, and Ryan Preece gets the checkered flag. Now, who's Ryan Preece? Well, he has been on the circuit. He's a young driver. This is his first win. Now, the Cookout Clash, and the Cookout's the company that sponsors it, of course, is an unofficial race. It's an exhibition, and you don't get points for it, but it is the unofficial opening to NASCAR, and of course the Daytona 500 comes up next Sunday, not Super Sunday, but the following Sunday, and that's the biggest of all.
Lady Bears and both Panther teams are on the court tonight. Who and when and where?
They are all playing virtually at the same time for both of them. The Lady Bears take the court at the Great Southern Bank Arena for a 6:30 game against Middle Tennessee State. This is a conference game. Middle Tennessee State is in Conference USA. They are the Lady Blue Raiders coming in from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and the Lady Bears need to win this one. Missouri State didn't play very well in their most recent game against Liberty, so it's time for them to get back and get Cayman Beckemeyer from Republic back in the scoring. She did have 24 points in that one loss, but the team needs to rally around her and get some points on the board. Lady Bears and Middle Tennessee State tonight. The Drury teams are both playing. The Lady Panthers begin at 5:45. They're taking on Quincy. This is a conference game for Drury as well. The ladies play Quincy, the Lady Hawks, and then the men play at about 7:45. So conference doubleheader over at Drury in the O'Reilly Family Event Center. Drury versus Quincy.
So go Panthers and Bears. A very bitter pill for the sports media around the country. And I know this hits home to you.
This one bothers me. This one really does bother me. The Washington Post, like them or not, they are politically oriented, but it's one of the nation's foremost newspapers. They're shutting down their sports department, which is one of the best ever in this country. A multitude of awards that have gone to the sports department at Washington Post, and as of yesterday, they shut it down. I mean, you have writers like Michael Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser, Christine Brennan. I don't especially agree with some of her prose that she's written, but nonetheless, a member of the staff. The late John Feinstein, one of the great authors in the country, Shirley Povich. These are all writers who were on the staff of the Washington Post, and they shut down the sports department. I don't understand it. It's the way that newspapers are going these days, and I understand the money factor and people are going digital and all that sort of thing, but this really hurts. And I think it's a mistake, and I would like to get in the smoke-filled rooms, if they still have them, with the big shots who make the deals on these things, because that is an error, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty big hole to fill, that's for sure. Got some college hoops played last night. Did we get some more wins for the undefeated teams, or what?
We did. Lady Huskies from UConn, Gina Warriema's Connecticut Huskies, they are the reigning national champs. They won their 39th in a row. They played DePaul last night in Chicago. The game was close until they started to play, and then it wasn't close. Connecticut 86, DePaul 40. The Big East Conference this year is down, and obviously Connecticut is dominating it, and they win again last night. Okay, Liberty, that's the team Missouri State will play on Saturday down in Lynchburg, Virginia, and that's a big game, folks. Liberty went to Delaware, which isn't too very far away. It's in Newark, Delaware. Liberty won it by a score of 75-69 over the Delaware Blue Hens, and that's closer than a lot of people expected. Kentucky walloped Oklahoma 94-78. A big surprise here, Oklahoma State, which has had kind of an up-and-down year, hosting Brigham Young, a nationally ranked team, and Oklahoma State won 99-92. That is very much a surprise. And Gonzaga, playing out on the West Coast, played Portland, which is a conference game for them, and Portland got the win, 87-82 over Gonzaga. That's a big surprise. And in hockey, final game for the St. Louis Blues until they shut down the season for 2 weeks, which starts today for the Olympics. So some of the Blues are going to play, including Bennington, their goalie. They'll play for the USA. But the fact is that the Blues lost again. They fell to the Dallas Stars 5-4.
Hey, you know what? Olympics are here, man. I'm excited. A lot of winter stuff going on. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.